once it started?
Well, it all starts with preparation. It started last Sunday, and the guys came ready to work. After a great win last week. Anytime you get a little momentum, man, them juices get to flowing a little bit better on Sundays. For practice as well as throughout the game. Throughout the game week. Sorry about that. But I could tell throughout preparation all week it was going to be a good one. And I told the guys on on Friday after practice, I said, we're going to kick, what, tomorrow night. I can just feel it, just because of preparation. So the guys came out prepared. We held some things like we normally do, in the second half that they haven't seen. And I think that played a little part of it, but the guys executed, no matter what I call. As long as we execute and go out there and play hard and play fast, something's going to go our way. And I think the good Lord, helped us today with some plays, some balls, some turnovers, and it was great. It was great to see those guys have fun.
You guys facing a team that was averaging 41 points a game. I think myself and many others, probably included, were saying that the offense was going to have to win the game this week. But really, it was you guys. What's the emotion in the locker room right now, knowing what you guys accomplished defensively?
Well, I think the guys deep down inside, know that everything hadn't been perfect for us, this year. We're still giving up close to 20 points a game that hadn't been done here in a long time, and they're playing their hearts out, and they have the belief. They know that we don't call ourselves the mob for no reason. And the guys play hard. They fight. They execute. They do what we're tell them to do to the best of their ability. And but the emotions in that locker room is amazing. Always great to see kids happy. And having fun, having a smile on their face. I got two kids of my own. And I know when my little boy loses a game or my little girl get beats in something, they're down. And I know what it feels like myself as well as being able to play the game as well. But it's great to see the young kids go in there and have fun. The old kids that's been here a long time. Seeing smiles on their faces, and they're making plays. And so I'm excited for those guys.
Yeah, that's a fifth-year quarterback, one of the best ones in the ACC. They had only had 5 turnovers total in 7 games, and you turned them over 6 times in one quarter.
No, sir, we turned them over 8 times.
Huh? 6 in one quarter, 8 in the game.
Yeah, there you go.
I
had to make sure I had to get you on that one.
Did you see something in film that suggested that they would be vulnerable to turning the ball over, or what happened?
Well, I think, one thing is, when you go back to and what I did, I went back all the way to 2017 when we played them at Appalachian State, and we did a lot of good things against those guys then, and should have won that game. And then I went back to 19, saw the things we did well early, and some things we didn't do so great in that 62-59 game. I said, "Oh, we're not doing that again." And then, of course, in 2020, here, we shut them out here as well. We did a really good job in 2020. And so I pulled some things from each game. Our staff did, and they did a tremendous job of getting their guys ready to play. Our whole staff did. It's a great shout-out to those guys as well. But when you look at all their turnovers, some have been tip balls. Some have been against some drop 8s. Some of them get some pressure. So we tried to bundle all that up and try to throw it at him, here, one play here, one play there, and not just play one defense, majority of the time, and not let that slow ride dictate the game. We wanted to dictate the game tonight and not let them dictate it, and it showed. It showed this week.
All right, 3 left, 2 here and Tom.
Okay, Brian, I just have 2 quick questions. First one, a couple weeks ago you said this defense has the potential to be dominant if they're just consistent. How nice is that to see that consistency kind of coming and manifesting? And then just comments on Keytrail's play tonight.
It's great to see the guys execute. When you see the guys, here in our meeting defensively, they're all attentive. Even after the freaking, Boston College game that Sunday, they were all attentive and was ready to go to work. It didn't matter what had happened. I think our guys are being, no doubt, resilient. And our motto defensively is, hey, we got to get our respect back. We got to get your respect back in this room, and the only way to do it is go out and work, and that's what they're doing each and every day. And our staff has done a tremendous job, like I said, of getting these guys prepared, doing a great job game planning, and so it's great to have a staff that I have on the defense side to help, get these guys ready and prepared to play the game.
Coach, what's the biggest difference between this defense we saw tonight and the defense in Game 1 against Syracuse?
Well, I think in the first game, you don't know what you're gonna get, because they got a new coordinator. We kind of figured some things that we wanted to do from Virginia, but it's a Syracuse team. They have totally different bodies and playmakers on that team. So it took us a little while to get adjusted, to those guys, which we end up doing, and we held them, in that third quarter to 0 points, and then they scored on some short fields in that game. And I think right now our defense is still confident. I mean, they went in that game confident, even came out of it confident. And I think one thing we're not doing is giving up the big play, and we're tackling a whole lot better. And that's going to happen because, in preseason you tackle as much as you can, but you don't tackle as much because you don't want to get, some of you guys hurt. And NCAA will allow you a certain amount of practice that you can do so. But I just think the guys they're executing to a T. They're paying attention to the detail, and they're playing for each other. That's the one thing I see. They're excited when somebody else make a play. They're excited when the offense makes a play. Both sides are, in these special team wise, they're up and down each sideline rooting each other on. And that's what you want to see in the team. And I think we're coming together as a team right now.
Brian, have you ever been a part of or even seen a game where a team has had 6 turnovers in one quarter?
Not in one quarter. Not in one quarter. I know at App State we had close to the same amount. We had 6 interceptions in one game, and all of them were, from the corner group. And one of them had 3, the other had 3. But, I have not seen it. I asked one of the refs on the sideline, I said, hey, have you ever seen anything like this? He said, I've been reffing for 40-plus years, and I have not seen anything like this. So it was great that, hopefully we're part of history. I don't know what the record is, but it's exciting that those guys went out there and executed and, played fast and played hard and played for each other and got some turnovers so we can win the game. Great team win today. Good. Thank you, guys. Oh.
Okay. All right, just first of all, just want to, say how proud I am of our guys in this building, players, our staff, our coaches, our players, for continuing to fight, continuing to battle. I told our guys in the locker room a month ago, nobody believed in you, backs against the wall, and we didn't listen to it. And we continue to fight, we continue to get better, we continue to grow as a football team. And then to be able to come out here against the number 10 team in the country and dominate like we did says a lot about them, says a lot about their character, their integrity, and what they have inside of them. And that's what makes champions. And we got to continue. We're not there yet. We got to continue to get better. We got to continue to fight and roll forward. But I can't say enough about them. We had a lot of respect for Wake Forest, Coach Clawson, Sam Hartman. They do a phenomenal job there. They're an incredible team. Just go back and look at what they've done over the years, the last 3 years particularly, and then look at how they take care of the football, how they don't have penalties, they don't beat themselves, and for us to come out and do what they did, particularly in the third quarter, was remarkable. I've never seen anything like it. Been in this game a long time. I've never seen that. To have that many turnovers, and it was different guys. That was what's so special about it. I think we sacked them 8 times. Was it 8 different players? 8 different players on 8 sacks. That's incredible. That is total team defense. 6 different players got turnovers today. It was incredible. And then offensively, I thought we moved the ball. We did a great job offensively. The negative offensively was red zone. Loved to punch them in the end zone. We said that we got to score touchdowns. We don't want to settle for field goals. That's the negative there. But they played really good on offense too. We moved the ball and did what we needed to do early, and then the defense kind of just took over. But it was, again, another total team effort. You got to have a team effort to beat a team like that, the way we did. And so just really proud of our guys. We want to continue to get better as a football team. We know everybody's talked about this back half of the schedule. We know it's tough, and we know what's in store for us. So we'll celebrate this tonight, and we have to. Obviously, it's hard to win. It's hard to win football games. So celebrate this, but tomorrow we'll get on JMU. They've had a week off last week, so we're excited to get ready for them.
Given all the adversity that you did go through, how did that Gatorade bath feel for you?
It was awesome to be getting a Gatorade bath because that means we're doing something good. But I really didn't want it. Well, not because it's cold, but I just expected our guys to go out and play well and to go out and play like we did. So for me, it's like. It's a great win, number 10 team in the country. But for me, it was like I expected our guys to go do that. So just don't do anything that we wouldn't normally do. In my mind, that's kind of the way I was feeling. But yeah, I'm so happy for our guys. If they felt like they need to give me a bath, I'll take it. But they did a tremendous job. So let's celebrate it.
Scott, Brian Brown said that when you guys were at App, he had seen a game where you had 6 interceptions in one game, but hadn't seen anything like what we saw tonight. Have you seen anything like that explosion in the third quarter?
Yeah, I remember that game was against Louisiana Monroe. Both corners had three apiece. A little bit like Quincy Riley and Contrell Clark today. But, no, I've never seen anything like that. It was like, they just got on a roll defensively, and just kept getting it. It's like we almost expected it. Matter of fact, when they had to punt, in the fourth quarter, I felt weird. I was like, what is this? We're supposed to have the ball all the way up here. It was that kind of deal. We just kept getting the ball back over here, and it was kind of lopsided time of possession and plays because of it, because the defense just having to keep going back out there. In the first half, that was a positive for the offense. We kept the ball. Our best defense in the first quarter was keeping them on the sideline. I felt it really helped us so they couldn't get in their rhythm. But I've never seen anything like that. 8 turnovers. That's incredible. And it's just something that if everybody does what they're supposed to do in their job, there's a chance you're going to get those. Now, some great individual plays by some guys too. But getting those sacks and getting the ball out right there, those are huge plays for us.
Hartman's a 5th-year player, an all ACC quarterback. They'd only turned it over 5 times in 7 games. Did you see anything at all that led you to believe you could create turnovers against them?
Well, yeah. We talked about this on Tuesday in the press conference, is the fact that we needed to mix it up defensively. We needed to bring pressure from all different sides. We needed to drop 8 at times. We needed to continue to do different things. We couldn't just sit and play the same defense. He will pick you apart. So I think our defensive staff did a phenomenal job of mixing up those pressures, and I think that's why we had 8 different guys get sacks. So it wasn't just Yasir or Yaya. I mean, it was a bunch of different guys coming from all over the place. And that really, I thought, confused Hartman a little bit and not knowing where they're coming from. And when that happens, you're going to throw it in some coverage, and or you're going to get strip sacked because you don't know where it's coming from. So it was a great defensive game plan, and our kids executed. But we knew coming in. We said this Tuesday, hey, we got to get turnovers. Like I mentioned this 2 years ago when they came here, they were number 1 in the country in turnover margin, and we won the turnover margin that game. Ended up winning 45-21 or something like that. But we knew we had to do that. Never dreamed we'd get 8, but I knew we had to get in the backfield and mix it up for Hartman.
Coach, would you discuss just kind of how this team has bounced back? You're 2-3. You lose your quarterback. You're heading into the tougher part of the schedule, and this last 3 weeks, last month has really been a nice turnaround.
Yeah, I mean, we were very close in those games. We were very disappointed we lost. I mean, Florida State, we lost by 4. I mean, Boston College lost by 1. I mean, you're sitting right in those games. We didn't make enough plays, and defensively we gave up too many big plays, and that's what we've done a great job the last 3 weeks. And that's been the difference. I mean, I really believe that's been the difference, not giving up those big plays that go for 6. And I think we take each game one game at a time. We can't look at, if we're sitting here at 6-1, we can't look at that being, we've arrived, we've won 6 games. It doesn't matter what our record is. When this week comes around, this is all we're focused on. If we're 2-3 or if we'd have been 5-0, we still would have had to focus on that next opponent. In this world we live in, you're only as good as your last game. You got to focus everything you have on that one opponent. And I know it's cliche and everything, but it's one game at a time, 100%. All focus on that. Now, what you do in that game obviously determines whether you win it or not. And we've been playing really, really good football, complimentary football the last 3 weeks.
I just have 2 questions real quick, Scott. I guess first one, where does this kind of win, knowing what, top 10 kind of rank for you in your career?
Yeah.
And then also just comment on Keitrell Clark, his game tonight.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's a huge win. I mean, they're a number 10 team in the country. I mean, that's a huge win. And, I turned on ACC Network last week after our big win against Pitt, and all I saw was Clemson and Wake Forest on there. That's all they talked about. So we're trying to gain some respect in the league. And the way you gain respect is to go win. You're not going to get respect if you don't win. Maybe they'll talk about us tonight on ACC Network. I hope so. We'll see. But, Keitrell Clark, I thought he played a really nice game tonight. Really all those DBs, because that is a tough draw to be able to have to cover those receivers. What they've been able to do this year, incredible. And they still hit a few plays on us, but those guys hung in there and battled all night. And for those corners to be able to step in front of there, Clark and Quincy Riley got 2 tonight. Tremendous job by those guys, but it all starts up front with that push that we're getting on those quarterbacks. And so that's why I really think it's a total team effort, not really just single out one guy.
Coach, kind of want to rewind to the second quarter and halftime. Second quarter had some questionable stuff happening, a touchdown that may or may not have been confirmed, really.
Yeah.
And it looked like you walked off at halftime with the officials talking about that. What was the message to your team after that second quarter experience before coming out and having this?
Yeah, well, I was just frustrated. I was frustrated at some of the things, the way they went. And, Hartman fumbled. They called it our ball, but then they come back and said, well, no, his forward progress had stopped. Let's just review that. That's why we have cameras, which they didn't. And then now we're rolling. We lost that. And they went down and scored on that particular drive, on that on the one in the end zone that you're talking about. So I was frustrated, with what was going on in the game. But I told our kids at halftime we got them right where we want them. We were fired up. I felt like the score wasn't indicative of what it should have been. Felt like we should have had the lead. So we felt really good about it at halftime. And we were so close at creating some turnovers. I just felt like in the third quarter we were having an opportunity to start creating turnovers. And we did. It just started to happen. So, but our guys were fired up at halftime to be able to get back out in the second half to go finish this game.
Thanks, Rocco. Coach, to see the fans storm the field, how does that feel?
Oh, it's awesome.
See that happen?
Oh, I love it, man. It's great, you know. The fans that were here today, we talked about this on Tuesday. I was like, man, if you guys are just hanging out, you know, in the Ville on Saturday, come check this game out. It's going to be a good one. And for the ones that were here, that was tremendous. They got to see a great game. That was fun. The crowd is into it. They're fired up. We're getting these pick sixes, and everybody's going crazy. And you know, then that crazy song comes on in the fourth quarter, and everybody's into it. I mean, you know, I love it, and it's awesome. And then for everybody to storm the field like that, I mean, that's college football at its best. I love that. You know, because they're going to remember that. The fans, hey, I was there. You know, we beat number 10 Wake. We stormed the field, whatever. You know, and so that's awesome. These are memories the guys will never forget or remember for the rest of their lives. So it's tremendous, and I'm happy for our fans, happy for the city of Louisville to be able to experience that. All right, thanks, guys.